Alright, this is part 3. And this is going to be about shit that we can't change. Like, just like I was talking about in the last video, like we can't change murder and genocide. So we can't change the fact that we all take shits. But if you really cared about your spiritual well-being, where would you actually be, like, trying to determine was that exact problem for me not being psychologically satisfied instead of my fleshy physical satisfaction? It would be in trying to figure out, how do I manipulate the enzymes in such a way to where I don't have so much fecal matter, so much fecal matter waste, so much fecal matter waste out of my ass. Alright, that doesn't make sense, and it's obviously because you're eating. But haven't you found something else to consume that can satisfy you more without you having to take or having to use the restroom or all this? But it's a simple fact that you can take a fucking crap and then pretend that life is still, like, grandeur or happy or fantastic or meaningful. And I'm talking about literally, like, you take a shit, right? And then you go and turn around and you make some ambient, progressive, alternative music. And then that don't make no sense. Alright? Because for music to really actually be fantastic, you have to be a fantastic person to even enjoy music. You would have to be a fantastic person to actually know what art is, or being what real musicianry, artistic, instrumental shit is. And what this shit is forcing people into shit and feeling and just assuming that they're going to make it alright, they're going to be able to climb out of it, it's going to make them stronger. But totally not even think about the fact that or just really not realize or not understand, because you get everything that you want, you're spoiled, you don't understand how other people actually feel. But you're not regarding the fact that it's easy for these people to lose hope permanently. Like, it's easy for them to realize there's no meaning. Alright, I'm gonna tell you, like, straight up, like, there really is no meaning. But that doesn't mean that I'm just going to feed my or satisfy my sexual thirst and my sexual hunger by whatever this machine is providing you. A really advanced machine, alright? And for them to degrade it like that, though, and utilize it for things that are that meaningless and that filthy and that degraded, like pornography. it doesn't really make sense. Right? You make movies out of every single thing. Right? Sex should be that much more important. Shouldn't you make a movie about sex and put it in theater where everybody can watch them? Fuck. Shouldn't you be able to be like $8 for pornography in the theater, but you want to have it on the internet? That doesn't make sense, because there's a lot of kids that want to go and get on the internet and play games on, like, let's say mini clips or some shit like that. A freaking site that I used to get on when I was a little kid. And I accidentally got on sites on accident. And I'd be like, trying to hide it and shit like that. Like, trying to put on clothes and, like, hurry up and hide the boobs and put the clothes on the anime chick, and like I'm like, oh, I'm just playing a dress up game, like, and not, it wouldn't have any like tits or nothing like that until I take it off, and I'm like, whoa, what is that? Like I remember that. Makes my head want to explode, like, because it's so like, I can't explain it, but it's something I can't control. Like the feelings that I had back then as a child, not understanding it, but being so like aroused by it, was like, one of those memories, you know. I really like, maybe it wasn't so like bad or nothing like that, I'm thinking, because it wasn't anybody fucking or anything like that, or dirty ass shit, like fucking showing an actual human being's whole asshole like they're in a farm or some shit like that, because that's what they basically look like, is farm animals. Like, this was a cartoon chick, alright, and she was really busty, like very thin too at the same time, but she had a nice waist, and like you can take her clothes off and see her like full actual like detailed vagina. Like, it was just like freaking all like maximum. It was, her tits were like all like round. So it was one of those things, but it wasn't like farm animal chicks being like their whole asshole showing and they're puffy and like dick going inside of them, and they're fucking, and you can see their whole ass, and so many assholes though. And it's just a simple fact that shit comes out of your asshole though, alright? And I can see how it can stimulate some people and stuff like that, because that's what you're stimulated by when you're older. But when you're only stimulated by one thing, it'll stop you from thinking about other things that are really actually serious and important. And when you realize that the main thing is that pornography is filthy, and what genitalia represents in this type of day and age, it's like, I just realized something. Something is trying to destroy my soul and destroy who I am, like, as an actual individual and a person. Like, who I actually am is not just like a sexual being, is what I'm saying. And I'm extremely offended by it. It's very rude, and it really hurts. Really bad. And I realized all the opportunities that I had when I was a child, that I could have actually just went and touched a lot of people's ass and stuff like that, that I really don't have, because I don't have them no more. So basically what that is suggesting is that I never had it. So if I don't have it now, then I will never have it. So if I don't have it, then what's the actual meaning and purpose of life? Because if the meaning and actual purpose of life isn't sexual, then why are you putting so much of it in my face? Why are you trying to seduce me with something that I don't have? So then I realize that no, you're trying to control me. You're trying to condition me into thinking that it's perfectly okay to have things that are vain and time consuming and that consume energy and mental, psychological, powerful energy of the mind, which is even more stimulating than having sex. That's why it's better not to masturbate. That's why it's better not to watch pornography. That's why it's better to play dark type of like supernatural murder games. It's better to play dark supernatural murder games. Like not fucking cheesy video games that are stupid. Just dark supernatural murder games. Okay? Alright. Alright. Look, you murder pigs and cows and blah blah blah, and you eat them at McDonald's. Okay, so there's obviously nothing wrong with that, right? So as a person that is obviously illogical and that does not, and obviously does not make sense there, and he's trying to change the subject immediately when you're talking absolute truth, then there's something crooked about that person, obviously. Especially when they get mad because you're exposing them about trying to expose some other person. Like, oh, we know a lot of information about this person and we're trying to expose him because we know this and that. And they get mad because they're exposing that person for trying to expose that person. Like, get this person out of here and blah blah blah. Like, I'm gonna have you and take you to court and blah blah. Like, that's sketchy. That's shady. And I know that they're not playing. They're really actually being serious. That was not a joke. And really, joking is stupid because there's that, there's that, and like you take a shit every other day and then pretend like the person that just made this brilliant ambient alternative type of music don't take a shit in their life. I'm just trying to figure out, like, for you to really actually make beautiful music, you would have to be something that is more than I guess basically more than flesh, something that makes you hunger for things. That's why, you know what, it's better to eat things that are not flesh. It's better to eat mainly plants that you grow yourself because they're in your own energy field. So blueberry plants, you can make blueberry bonsai plants, spinach plants. You can splice the spinach with other plants. You can graft freaking blueberry plants on the marijuana stems, like bam, and have like a marijuana blueberry thing going on. I don't know how it's going to really actually turn out, but the blueberries might actually have THC in them, so you can eat those, get high off the blueberries. And when you have an actual strain, marijuana strain, like the very origins of marijuana, like the actual seeds, keep those seeds for yourself and don't give them to anybody else. Well, you can give them to anybody else, but make sure nobody obtains the seeds that you have. That means you have to put them in a safe and make sure that nobody can mess with those or alter any sequences inside of the anything or whatever, splice them, because they'll try to change it and you won't be able to get the same high that you got from actual marijuana, even though they look the same and they smell the same and they look the same. They're not the same. That's why if you get marijuana now, you don't get high off of it, and you're pretending like you're getting high off of it because you're in denial and you don't want to admit that it's not getting you high anymore. I basically have to let you know that this shit don't work, so I'm not buying it no more. I'm not buying into it. I shouldn't have to buy weed off of the streets. Your parents are full of shit. They'd be like, well, you have to buy marijuana from strangers, and we're just going to go ahead and let you buy marijuana from strangers instead of you just being able to grow it in your room, or we're just going to grow some for you. I'm like, no, that's not my mom. That's not my dad either. Or somebody clone them. That's why I don't believe in their bullshit. And I believe in cloning and shit like that, and I believe that it's actually happening now. I believe that they manipulate, like, the actual, they social engineer by in impersonating people that they are not. And I believe it's actually real. And matter of fact, I've encountered, like, real life, like, shit like that. Like, um, I know that there are people shapeshifting. Alright, for a fact. And they act like people that they're not. The socially engineer the actual equilibrium of things. I'm surprised there's any equilibrium, but I don't even give a fuck about equilibrium anymore. Like, it's not natural to have an equilibrium. It's not natural to be at home, because I don't believe in home. And this place is not natural, only because of the simple fact there is not home. And you cannot be in home without worrying about something that makes you not at home. So you're not at home. So I've been extremely homesick, as in, like, supernaturally homesick. Like, I've been having these feelings, like, they're like psychic feelings. And I've come into freaking contact with like objects, right, that seem alive. And I encountered, literally, like, something from another time come into this reality. And I don't think it was aware of me, but somehow I was aware of it, because it came into reality. And then it was like a long ass freaking, this road, and then it passed again, like this. It was a car, basically, but it passed again, though. And what was really weird about it wasn't, I didn't feel its presence, like, as in its awareness, like it was aware of me, or its concentration. Like, I don't feel like it was concentrated on me, but it was the same exact concentration of, like not being concentrated on me, like, as it passed by again. But this road was so long, and the time it took for it to pass by me again was at least less than a minute or so. It wasn't that long, but this road was so long. I don't see how you can make a circle all the way this way. It was all the way out in the country. All right, I don't see how you can make a circle that fast and come all the way back. All right, it was the same exact car, though, and it was the same exact, like how do I explain it? Like, they weren't not really concentrated on me. I did not feel their attention. Like, it was the same exact disattention that I felt the first time it came by. And this road was really creepy. Alright? I don't know what it was. And not only that, there's this room where this freaking big light was glowing up in the freaking house, like, zoom, 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 like that. And it was, I don't know what it was. It could have been made up, though. It could have been somebody trying to do, like, some sort of, like, stage thing or whatever. But it was really weird, though, because it was definitely abnormal. Like, I definitely don't think anybody was aware of me. Like, I did not feel anybody's, like, concentration on me or attention. Like, and I felt like I was in another, like, a reality, like, somewhere else. And I was really creeped out because the whole environment felt haunted, like it was from another time. Like, maybe it was because of the buildings, but it was really actually, like, sad, though, because I got these just sad feelings. Like, there's this time I was walking on this road, and there's these two horses in the middle of the night. It was on this country road, too, and there's just one house right over here, like, way in the distance, and then there's this little barn, and there's these lights, and these two horses were just, like, out in the open. But it was so sad. Like, I got this feeling, and I don't know how to explain it, but I knew it had something to do, like, they were trying to tell me something. These horses were trying to tell me something. I knew it had something to do with, like, this reality, and something about like something twisted and entities and cloning, and basically it had like a very supernatural aspect about the end, like, and the an actual end, like where everything that we know and everything that was normal to us was basically, well, we might take what we have for granted now, even though something might really have literally have changed. But what I'm saying is, what we did really have, we actually literally lost, and it was trying to, we spiritually lost, and it was trying to explain that we actually spiritually lost the war, like, on everything. And what's really sick about it is they're trying to tell us the sickening part about it. Like, what's the most sickening part? Well, think about everything that's sick to you. And I'm thinking about dick and pussy. And how wrong it would be to take a go inside of a side of a middle school with AK-47s and gather up all the teachers and children up into the gymnasium, or middle school students in the gymnasium, and basically make all the students take all their clothes off, mainly all the girls, but they're telling all the boys stay over there because you're not getting any. Like, they make them stay, put their clothes on, leave their clothes on, but they take all the girls' clothes off, and they and humiliate some of the boys in front of the girls, but then they're molesting all the girls in front of the teachers, and they force some of the teachers to molest some of the girls too, and they're fucking on the teachers, and they're fucking on the little girl students. And some of the boys there are even taken advantage of too, but some of the boys are even shot in the head, like, just like in plain sight, like, and everybody's like, what the fuck, like, literally, it's so foul. And the whole gym smells like dick and pussy, like, the whole gymnasium smells like dick and pussy. And they make the female teachers take all their clothes off, and make the male teachers fucking do shit with the female teachers, and they even shoot some of the male teachers, and the female teachers are fucking hysterical, which I don't even believe. I believe all females are full of shit. I think they're the devil. That's what I think, mainly. And because why would they want to hurt you so much? Why would they want you to be in so much pain, and so depressed, and as if they ignored the main principle of life, which is actually pain. So why do you want to hurt me more? I I don't know, maybe because I was ignorant of pain in the first place, or maybe because you was ignorant of the pain that I actually feel, that you can't see. So when you can't see something, like, you don't want to be a part of it. If it's not special, you don't want to be a part of it, and that's how females are. If it's not special, they don't want to be a part of it unless you're special somehow. So I guess I'm not really special, but anyways, that's how I know females are liars, because they be like, I love you and I understand things about you, and I just feel like whatever we have is just like residual. It's basically like, I heard that somewhere, like, it's just residual. We're not really the same. Like, we act the same, we eat the same things, basically, apparently. And I feel like some females are really nice, but I just don't, I really don't want to get involved with that. Like, I don't really think that they should be coexisting like that anymore, because if you're supposed to coexist in that way, then that means technically that you're married. Alright, but what's really twisted about that is, I know for a fact there's something in this galaxy, in this universe, that takes your marriage away. I know that for a fact. It takes it. No matter who you're married to, no matter how much you love that person. And it's not an entity. It's a being. And they take it away from you. Alright? I know that for a fact. So you feel like you belong with the person so well. Like, matter of fact, it could even be your soulmate. And they take it literally away from you. And that is why I was really homesick and depressed. And I was like, I just realized they took something that I felt like it belonged to me. I felt like it was really mine, but it was gone. And I felt like a part of the reason why it was gone is because it was so valuable to me that a lot of females became jealous of it. So they invoked something inside of a male. They stimulated something inside a male that provoked them to take it away. But not only that, it provoked them to help them take it away, to help the females take it away. Because the love that I had for a particular individual, I felt like it was so great that they wanted it. They wanted to be a part of it, so they didn't know what to do because they were jealous of it. And I swear to God, that is what pisses me off. Like, if you only knew the feeling, like there's nothing that can quench your rage. There's nothing that can quench your anger. Like, you can't punch a wall. You literally want to just be engulfed in flames and die. That's how you feel. You just want to be engulfed in flames. And basically that's how I want to die. I want to be engulfed in flames. Like, I don't want anybody to be around my body when I die. I don't want to have a funeral. I don't want to be in a coffin. I want to be burned right then and there on the spot. Like, boom, gone. Like, to ashes. Like, to freaking, like, burntness. Like, I want to look like a piece of burnt popcorn. That's what I want to look like. But if you're a dude, don't associate with females. Just don't, whether they're nice or not. Like, I can't say that all of them are, I can't say what they are, but I can't say that what's presently going on right now is even fair. It's not really fair either. Back then, Adam and Eve, they were there. They were able to interact the way that they wanted to interact with each other, and Adam was not going to get in trouble for even raping her, or trying to fuck her or whatever. But times have changed, though, and what these times are basically indicating is that it's practically useless, or life is going to get harder. Regardless, life is going to get harder. Like, it's going to get harder, and you're going to get manipulated by a lot of people who pretend like they like you and that they're friends, and like they know you and you've always been there, and they want to act like you're all cool in this moment, like you're one of the cool people, like, hey, come with us since you're acting cool, like you look good, and like, just carry a knife with you, because when you encounter certain people, you might even like be so offended, and you could be in the perfect opportunity, but you didn't have any knife or nothing. There's no cameras around or nothing, and that could be the perfect opportunity, like, to just stab somebody that don't need to be in the world at all. Like, they don't need to be in the world. I don't have a problem with that, like, because I know that I'm not really that dirty. Like, I don't like pornography, and it's not that I don't like it. It's just like I'm not really trying to associate with it like that. Like, I don't want anything to do with it. Like, just because I'm attracted to it and seduced by it. That's like being seduced by food too. Like, you're hungry for certain things, but